Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if they're sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode 178. Mike Budalich, not Alex Benesiewicz, who I fuck up his name all the time. It's Benesiewicz. I don't fucking know. I get it wrong all the time. But we have another great star co-host. We're going not with a net angle tonight. We're going with the Nick angle tonight. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the blue and orange that Mike Budalich is where. Hey, Mike, thanks for coming on the podcast. How are you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to have two Mike B's on the podcast.
Yeah, you were talking about that in the pre-production meeting. Mike was like, I got this great idea. Mike, let me run this by you. We're both Mike B's. Now, I do appreciate that, and I do thank you, Mike, for coming on the pod. You know, people don't know this about us, but we're both from New Jersey. I live now in Middletown, New Jersey, and not to get too deep in the weeds, we're in the Jersey Shore-ish area. You're in somewhere that nobody's heard about, but I'll say 10 to 15 minutes away from Asbury, 5 to 10 from Belmar. And I got to give you credit, Mike. You are my food liaison when family comes. So thank you, Mike, for being my guy with food. I do really appreciate that. Fuck you with the Knicks, but thank you.
Yeah, it's nice we're going to actually get to talk hoops today, because recently all I've been getting is, where's the best Italian restaurant in Belmar, or where can I get good seafood near Point Pleasant? So it's going to be nice to switch it up and talk hoops with you tonight.
That is true. And I have to say this before we start anything. You are in a company of two other men that have only done this to me. You ready for this stat?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, you're laughing. In the history of Bad Weather Fans, this is episode 178. Let me double check. Did I do that right? Yes, 178. I have had to send a link through Google Calendar to three men. Those men include you, Channing Frye, and Tracy McGrady. So those are the other two guys that were like, where's the link? Thank you for being such a dipshit and requesting that. You have joined that company.
See, I'm interpreting that as I'm part of greatness, because two other great players in NBA history thought the same as I did. So that really, I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we talk a little off season, for people that don't know you, Mike, give a little background on your, you're from Jersey, but where you came into loving the Knicks, your Knick background, and how you became, because I know you on a personal level, and I know you're a great fan. How you became such a passionate fan for the Knicks.
So I know when I was a guest the last time, I touched on this a little bit, but my dad grew up in Staten Island, and he went to the Knicks games as a kid. He was at the game when Willis Reed walked out of the tunnel, and he said it was the most deafening he's ever heard the Garden. He's like 68 years old now, and he still says it's the most deafening he's ever heard the Garden. So being a part of that experience and talking to me about Walt Frazier and just how great that team was and the togetherness, and then combine that with the fact that I grew up on the 90s Knicks, Ewing, Stark. He grew up in a great era. I grew up in a great era, and I've just stuck with it from day one. That's been my team. And, the Garden is a special place. I've been there many times, and nothing quite compares to the atmosphere at the Garden. So that's really the long and short of it.
All right, my next question, and I don't want this to be an interview. This will be a back and forth. Then I'm done with the Q&A.
It's fine. I can answer the questions.
No, I am interested in this because you're a Jersey guy, and where you and I live is kind of like there's a lot to do, but it does have a calmness to it. Would you agree? There's Absolutely. A peace, the beach. Do you like then the hustle and bustle in New York City? This is a weird question. I'm curious to ask you about that.
I like the hustle and bustle of it, and the great thing about me is I don't have to commute every day to work in the city. I don't know how people do that. That's a miserable existence. I go to the city when I want to go to the city, or when, periodically when I have business there, I'll go and do meetings. But I don't have to deal with that grind every day, the traffic. So for me, it's an enjoyable thing when I go to the city.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I do respect that. So NBA offseason, here we are. So we're recording this on a Wednesday night. NBA offseason begins on Friday, which will be fun for a lot of us. I am we'll start with the Nets here. Let's get you on the net angle because as a net fan right now, all these rumors are swirling about Brian Windhorst saying some shit's gonna happen in Cleveland. We're waiting on Darius Garland. We're waiting on Donovan Mitchell. There's now this report that maybe Minnesota's interested in Ben Simmons. I, as a net fan, am just like, I honestly mean this. They got to go in two different directions for me. Either they're going to go all in on stars or they're going to go all in on rebuild. But as a net fan, if they just stand pat and do kind of nothing ish and just go with this current roster, that will very much annoy me because pick a side. You want to rebuild? Let's rebuild. We'll suck. Go in. Maybe we don't win a title, but we can win games. They're kind of in no man's land if they do nothing. And that's how I feel about the Nets, at least.
Yeah, I just look at the Nets and I think they're like a Frankenstein team. I mean, a lot of people via trade. You got the Simmons contract, which is a disaster. There's a lot. It's very murky waters if you're a Nets fan. I know you got Michael Bridges, nice piece. I was
McCall.
okay, McCall.
You
I was
Villanova.
got my Nova boy out. So, but we still got the best Nova guy on our side.
I agree.
But the Nets, if they go into the season with the team they have right now, I think that's a disaster. So
you get joy out of the Nets sucking.
I don't really get joy out of the Nets sucking.
Don't lie to me.
I get more joy out of the Knicks winning, okay? I'm not the guy that's rooting for the Nets to lose more than I'm rooting for the Knicks to win. So for me, the Nets, they're a sideshow. They're New Jersey's team, so.
But see, that's so weird because you love New Jersey, but then you can make New Jersey jokes about a basketball team. That doesn't make sense I can respect, like I see all these Knicks fans on Twitter with small penises, and I get it with they're from go back to New Jersey. Like there's this one Knicks fan that has two first names. I forget his name, like Scott Ralph or whatever. But you're a New Jersey guy. You love New Jersey. Why are you pooping on the state?
Because it should be the New Jersey Nets. That has a better alliterative sound. Brooklyn, they sold out. They sold out. And I also don't like them ever since the KD Kyrie saga started, because when that all started, that really was like, before that happened, I was ambivalent. I truly did not give a shit about the Nets. But when they got Durant and Kyrie and started talking shit, that's when the tables totally the switch flipped for me. But the switch flipped for me when that happened.
I got to be honest. I saw you in public a few weeks ago and purposely ignored you because I did not want to hear this rant. I do agree with you that Brunson is the best of the bunch. He's been so good. So the Knicks, right? DiVincenzo now rumored. And for people that are listening, I haven't referenced this yet. You're a big fan of Villanova hoops. Of course, all the Villanova boys with Bridges, DiVincenzo, and Jalen Brunson, who's become an absolute stud. I imagine then, from your viewpoint, you're excited on the idea of DiVincenzo joining the Knicks and being part of their rotation as a guy that can come off the bench and get you buckets.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't be? I mean, we saw what happened when Josh Hart came at the deadline. Did the Knicks play improve after that? You bet your ass it did. So we can get another Nova guy like that who has instincts and gels with Jalen Brunson. I think you'll see more of the same. I mean, Steve Kerr said earlier this year, he said Dante has been one of their best players night in and night out. And the numbers backed it up. I was reading, he was one of 5 players that started between 15 and 40 games to average at least 9 points, 3 assists, and shoot at least 37% from the arc. So the other 4 players that did that were Austin Reeves, Tyus Jones, Karis LeVert, and New York's Emmanuel Quickley. So those are some good players that you have in that sweet spot there. And I mean, when he played between 30 and 39 minutes in Golden State, they were 15 and 10 and outscored their opponents by 157 points. I had that teed up on my screen so I could bring that stat.
Yeah, you think if you're watching this on YouTube, your eyes are looking left like you're watching Zion Williamson in porn. Like, obviously, I mean, your eyes are.
I'm reading a Mariah. What's her name? The Mariah girl tweet.
Yeah, you're. This is you if you're watching this on YouTube. And I think that he had no. You that was awesome. I'm giving you a hard time, but no, those are good stats. You're like, What will Biseglia ask me? Let me get ready. You're prepped. I appreciate that. And you're prepared like you do when I'm like, hey, dude, what should I do for seafood in Belmar? It's a Tuesday night. I need to know what happy hour specials are going on. You're my guy. You're prepared. I love it.
3 minutes later, you got 3 recommendations close to you.
Nah, it's awesome. No, I agree with you. You know, to me, it's like Evan Fournier, but you're getting a guy that's athletic, gives you more, and isn't, the cone and the court that everybody complains about. I agree. I think it's a good move. I think for the Knicks right now, I don't
shot
think
39%, 39.7%
no,
from
it
three.
would be a drastic improvement and just improve the depth of the Knicks and give them another option. I
Yeah.
mean,
Who else
the
shot
Knicks,
39.7% from three on the Knicks this year?
who did?
Probably. Who else shot 39.7% or better from three than the Knicks this year?
Do you
I don't think Randall did. I don't think even Randall in his hot streaks, he didn't do that.
do you like Julius Randle, or where are you on the team? The Nick Randall, whatever. I don't know what the word is.
Remember what I said? What did I say to you in the pregame, in the pre-prep part of the show? I said to you, I want guys that up their game in the postseason.
You did,
I'm
yeah.
tired of having players that have good regular season, and then when it comes down to the most important part of the season, their play, it goes down. Emmanuel Quickly, he had a drop off. Julius Randle, he had a drop off. RJ Barrett, he played about the same. I don't think anyone's going to tell you he elevated his game in the postseason. The only guy that did that was Brunson.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's it.
From that and knowing your football, your favorite player of all time is Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Eli. Yeah, I mean,
Michael Strahan and Eli. Like they're equal for me. Justin Tuck's great, but Strahan stands above. I got the 92 jersey. I have his autographed picture. I'm a diehard Strahan fan. Plus, he's a Michaels. So come on, man.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of guys that have stepped up their game. Yeah, I mean the Randall thing. JPP, OC
Umanura. I mean,
another good
Bradshaw, Brandon Jacobs.
I got another one that a lot of Giant fans don't remember. David Tyree.
Tyree's from Jersey. He's from Montclair, New Jersey.
Is Tyree from Montclair?
Yep, he's from Montclair, New Jersey.
That's cool. No, we're not. Yeah, we'll pivot from football to baseball for a second. No, we won't do baseball.
I knew you were
okay. But it is. I do ask you about the Randall stuff only because I'm interested as an observer, as a Net fan. But I keep an eye on the Knicks. I know what's going on. I know, Julius Randle regular season to postseason. I'm always just curious because sometimes I think I fall in this trap, and I'll admit this. I fall in the Alex trap. And I say that not in a bad way, but when I record hundreds of episodes with Alex, I hear his opinion over and over again. And
he really dislikes Randall.
But I
would say he dislikes Randall even more than I do. I'm not a big fan of Randall, but I would say Alex dislikes him even more than I do.
And I think I fall in the trap of, and I would say I can't speak for him, but there might be net opinions I'd give. And, you hear it from us and we respect each other so much that I think sometimes you fall in love with those opinions and agree with them, even if they're not right or wrong, or if they're not right. So I'm just curious. I like hearing from other Knicks fans, like, where are you on this train? The other one I'd be curious about is RJ Barrett. Now, we all know from listening to Bad Weather Fans, Alex has RJ in the Hall of Fame. He's been there for years. Where are you on the RJ Barrett scale compared to where my co-host is?
Well, your co-host is an RJ stan.
Yeah, Stan. Yeah.
I'm an RJ fan, but I don't think he's as good as everyone makes him out to be. His numbers have been going down. His 3-point shooting is straight up a liability for us at this point. Yeah. Like, he went from 40 to 34% 2 years ago to 31% last year. I mean, that's a really bad trend. And he played pretty good in the playoffs. I'll give him credit. He played good, and he's very durable. He plays like 80 to 82 games a year. He's got the pedigree. He was number 1 in high school. He played for Duke. Like, I want to see more, though. Like, his points per game went down this year too. Like, I think right now he's like a B player. He's not a superstar or even a fringe star. Like, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson save the Knicks. I hate to say it, but if he's not there, I mean, this year the Knicks are they're in the play-in, but they're an irrelevant team that's not, whatever. Yeah. They're losing to pick team in the first round in 5.
Yeah, go rewatch Game 6. I'm not telling you specifically, but anybody that wants to, go rewatch Game 6 of the Knicks Heat series and tell me Jalen Brunson is not the best free agent signing we've ever had in franchise history. I challenge them.
Okay, you say you don't hate the Nets. Let me ask you this. Knicks go to the Eastern Conference Finals this season. Would you sign up for that?
Would I be happy with that? Or
would you sign up for the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Do I think that they're going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals?
I said, would you sign up for it, Mike?
Who wouldn't sign up for that?
But it means the Nets win the title. Would you take that exchange?
No.
So then you hate the Nets?
No. We were 2 games from the Eastern Conference Finals last year. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that's a small improvement.
All right, Mike. The Knicks make the Eastern Conference Finals and the Raptors win the championship.
It doesn't really do much for me, but I'd rather see the Raptors win the championship.
You're not answering the goddamn questions.
I'd rather see the Raptors win than the Nets.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, would you sign up for the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals? They go to 7, but it means the Raptors go to the finals.
I mean, no fan wants to sign up for that. No fan's going to say, "Oh, I want to see my team lose in 7." Who the hell would sign up for that? No.
You know what? Just admit you hate. Just admit you hate the Nets. Just say it.
You're trying to corner me, and I'm not going to let you corner me. The Nets. I don't hate the Nets. I'm just not a big fan of the Nets. I think that they're overrated. There's too many people talking about the Nets when they're not doing shit. What are the Nets doing?
You're deflecting the questions. They're not doing anything. I agree with you. They're not. That's obvious. You're right. Average. They are average.
The Nets are the definition of middling. Like the Hawks and the Nets are like the same team.
I don't disagree with anything you said. You're making really good points. I don't disagree. You still haven't answered the question. You know it too. And I love it about you. That you can deflect from that and move it along. Is fascinating, and I respect it. But you know what you're doing.
I mean, what do you want me to say? We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati.
If Alex was here and you could ask him one thing, no filters, I mean, within reason, something from, for people that don't know, and Coonies was on this a couple of weeks ago filling in. There's a group chat that you guys have, which is with Knick fans. I've been asking to come in this group chat. I've not been allowed in. It is what it is. What would you ask Alex if you were here one-on-one? Because I think, let me give a little more context. I can see you're like, Biseglia, shut up. I want to talk. I want to just say this. When you're in a group chat and you're texting, you're tweeting, it's a little more difficult to get your point across or what you want to say. In a podcast forum, or, you have a little more, you have the platform to express yourself. If you could say one thing to Alex, what would it be?
Why is Biseglia not allowed in the group chat? No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't ask that. I'd ask him, what does he think is the most realistic trade package we could put together for Julius Randle? Because I know he's so adamant and he can't stand him. He wants him off the team. We can't win without him. And I agree with a lot of the stuff he says about Randle. Like whenever he tweets something about Randle, 9 times out of 10, I'm liking and retweeting it. So, I mean, I agree with a lot of what he says, and you bust my balls about agreeing with his tweets and not liking your tweets enough. I'm sorry, I don't like your tweets enough, Mike. But I would ask him, what's the package? You keep talking about this. We're going to trade Randle. Okay, Alex, like give me your scenario. How does this work?
That's a great question. That's a fair question. We've posed that before you're on bed with fans. Like, what do you do? Now, I do think Randle's trade value has gone up since last season when it was a disaster. But at the same time, it's not where, it's not where you're going to get what you want in that return. The same as with the Nets with Ben Simmons. From your perspective, did you ever feel Ben was a threat or could have a good year? Take away your net, disdain, or I don't care about the Nets.
It has nothing to do with my Nets. It has nothing to do with my Nets. Simply
what do you think about
attitude.
Ben?
It's simply his attitude, the way he carries himself, the way he posts on social media, and he's all about his image. Ben Simmons is an egomaniac. That's my takeaway.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is an egomaniac, and he thinks he's better than he actually is. He doesn't want to work. He is like the poster child for a spoiled brat pro athlete. And I don't think he's ever going to be anything significant in the NBA again. I just don't think he has the work ethic, the determination. I think he's eventually going to disappear and never have a big productive season as a player again.
That's scary because I agree. I get frustrated with the Ben Simmons workout videos because, prove it on the court. I say this about anybody. I don't like people that like go to the gym once every 3 weeks and then they post it on Instagram like working out. Well, just go to the gym and show the results. That to me is that's Ben Simmons, right? Like I went to the gym. Here's I'm working out, as opposed to the person that's this is an extreme example, but Kobe Bryant, who's not going to go on Instagram and be like, I worked out. Kobe's gonna just do it and doesn't have to tell you about it.
Same thing with like a Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has that type of Mamba mentality, just like work hard. Like look at the Heat. If you look at their team on paper, Tyler Herro was hurt. They had so many guys. Every guy on that roster upped their game in the postseason.
They did.
Every fucking guy on that roster upped his game. And that's because of Spo, a lot of it. But I also think it's because Pat Riley's running the show. Like they say Heat culture. You know what? It's hard for me to disagree.
Yeah.
Look at what they've done. They don't have a top 5 player in the NBA the last 3 years. They don't have one top 5 player, but they've been to the finals, 3 out of 4 or two out of 3?
No, there is something to that. I as a Knicks fan for you, I'm sure like you don't like the Heat. Obviously, you're growing up. There's a huge history there. That's when the Knicks Heat rivalry was at its best.
Fuck PJ Brown.
Right. That's when it's at its best. But at the same time, if you were to take a Knicks fan, strip them of all the bullshit, and you said you would love the Heat because they're everything that those 90 Knicks embodied. Those are the 90 Knicks, not the same. Please don't say it's the same. Like, don't get to badweatherfans@gmail.com. But in modern day times, not as talented, great coach, and just work your ass off. There's no Michael Jordan in the way, but it's the same kind of vibe.
And you know what I noticed, Mike? I noticed that the Heat knew the game plan and they didn't hesitate. When they had open 3-point looks, they let it fly. Strus was letting it fly. Gabe Vincent was letting it fly. Duncan Robinson letting it fly. The Knicks got the ball, open looks, head fake, up, the defense closes in, pass it. Oh, they pass, another guy gets an open look, hesitates, head fake, the defense closed out. The Knicks had a lot of good looks that they passed up on against the Heat, whereas the Heat, they got the ball, there was no hesitation. Even if they took like 50 threes one game or 49 threes. The Knicks were afraid and hesitant. The Heat had the killer instinct. That's why they won that series.
Were you rooting for Denver in the finals or Miami?
I was rooting for Denver. I like Jokic. I think Jokic he got screwed out of the MVP award.
He's not that good.
Jokic isn't that good.
I'm just joking. Come on.
I really hope you were joking, but yeah, Jokic is fantastic, and I like Gordon. They had a good roster, man. They were the best team in the NBA this year. By the way, who was the only team that they didn't beat this year? Can you remind me?
The Knicks.
Yeah, twice. We swept them. So
yeah,
that's a good indicator.
That means nothing. The Nets beat the Knicks in Denver, Mike. The Nets went to Denver and won.
No, you're wrong. It means something because the Knicks hadn't won in Denver in a long time. I think it was like 12 or 13.
The Nets won in Denver. The Nets won in Denver.
I know the Nets did. I know. Congratulations. You also lost in Brooklyn, so you didn't sweep them. We swept the champs.
Oh, my God.
That's a building block. It's a building block. I'm not saying don't put a banner up or anything. Don't do the Photoshop with the banner the year the Knicks beat Denver both times. Just saying.
You embody why I hate the Knicks. I mean, you just embody it. I mean, I'm not saying I dislike you as a human. I think you're fine, but you just embody the comments like that. Just not warranted. Not warranted at all.
What do you think? I have like some Knicks hubris over here. I'm pretty humble when it comes to the Knicks.
Oh, you are.
I didn't project us to go to the finals this year. I was happy. I would have liked us to beat the Heat, but beating Cleveland, I wasn't expecting that. That wasn't guaranteed. They did a great job. They beat them in 5. They
killed them. Yeah,
that was great. I wanted to see us go further, but we won a playoff series, so that was definitely preseason. If you told me the Knicks are going to win a playoff series last year before the season, I would have said I'd be thrilled with that. So
right, but this preseason, if I say, hey, the Knicks are going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals and lose in 7, you have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with that, but I mean, if we're gonna make it 7, shit, I want to go all the way, man.
No.
Like,
Let
I'd
me
be
tell you
happy.
that. Let me tell you this, Mike. If the Knicks won the championship, I'd have to take a month and go to Africa, go to Europe. I'd have to get away. I
Well,
couldn't deal with it.
I can't even fathom a scenario where the Nets win a championship. So,
But you did before the last couple. You might say on there was a mm, there definitely was a point that crossed your mind where you thought it was possible.
oh, when KD and Kyrie were there, I was
And
like,
Harden,
yeah,
you thought it was happening.
I really did think it was going to happen.
I
And
know.
put yourself in my shoes. I'm a diehard Giants fan. I just had to watch the Eagles win a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I would have had to watch our crosstown rivals win an NBA championship. That would have been misery for me. Like, it's bad enough the Eagles won a Super Bowl. If the Nets were to have won a championship, I would have been livid.
What would have been worse?
Definitely the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I hate the Eagles a million times more than I hate the Nets.
Really? Wow, you really hate the Eagles. So that giant Eagles loss was tough.
Yeah. We don't have to go back to that, but it's
No, I get it. So it's weird then when you're rooting for the Sixers over the Nets. Is that weird? It's a weird concept. I'm not saying I do the same thing. It's just a weird concept.
It is a weird concept. It is a weird concept. But Philadelphia, for me, the Giants rivalry, you can't go to Lincoln Financial Field safely as a Giants fan. Like, I can go to a Nets game, no problem. No problem. I won't even get hassled. I can wear my gear. Go try wear a Giants jersey at Lincoln Financial Field. Let me know how that goes.
No, I'm not saying this. This is true. I've gone to Knicks games as a Net fan. I've never felt, and I'm not a Net fan that's going to go in there and talk. I mean, I might wear a shirt, but I'm just going in there and I'm being myself. I never feel threatened. I did go to Nets Sixers game 1, and I was fine. Now it was a day game, and the energy in there was bad, and I do think there's some truth to this, where the Sixers knew they were going to beat us and didn't care, and that's why the crowd was kind of bad. I do think there's something to that, and I'm not offended by it, and I hope Sixer fans wouldn't be offended by it. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Now you must have grown up with a lot of Eagle fans.
Remember, I'm Central New Jersey.
That's what I'm asking.
So I'm right on that disputed zone. It's like a third Jets, a third Giants, and a third Eagles where I grew up. It really is like a evenly mixed pie between those 3 teams. So
can you name an Eagle fan, like let's say his name or her, that you just don't like?
An Eagles fan that I don't like,
Josh Simmons,
like Mike Trout. I want to Mike Trout. I want to like Mike Trout so much. He's
personal
a personal one that I know.
Yeah, I want to just call out random people tonight with you, Mike. Who do you not like?
The problem, you know what sucks? I have some friends that are Eagles fans, and I have to tolerate the fact that they're Eagles fans. But during football season on Sunday, like, I can't even talk to them.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like a days off the calendar. They're my friend, except on Sunday. Can't talk to them.
If you beat them, like if the Giants beat the Eagles, will you send like a little snarky text, or do you wait a day?
I don't, because if you look at our record against the Eagles the last 10 years, it is so fucking bad.
Terrible.
That I can't even brag when we win.
You're right.
Because we're so far behind the last 10 years. I don't even want to brag because it's like bad karma.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Jet fans, though, different.
Jet fans, doesn't no problem. They're AFC. I mean, I wish them well. I think Aaron Rodgers is. Look, he couldn't beat the Lions last year, the last game. I think there's a lot of high hopes in Jets Nation, and they need to temper their expectations a little bit. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would get. Yeah,
Buffalo's still the team to beat in that division, but look, they got a great defense. I love Sauce Gardner. I think he's a fantastic cornerback. You know, they have a really elite defense. Getting Aaron Rodgers, their quarterback play the last 5 years has been trash. If Aaron Rodgers is like B+, A- quarterback for them, that's the best quarterback play they've had in 10 years.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's funny. I'm a Giant fan. I'm a Mets fan. And then for basketball, I like the Nets. Obviously, everybody knows my feelings on where I want the Knicks to be. Yankees, I don't want them to win, but I'm not like with the Knicks win, I get in a bad mood. The Yankees win, it's just like whatever. The Jet win, I'm okay with I want to see the Jets succeed.
Me too.
And maybe I'll change my mind if they get really they play really well, and Alex is tweeting in all caps, and it gets annoying, and I'll have to mute him. But I don't mind it.
In the last 30 years, how many times have the Jets won that division? Three,
I don't
four.
know.
Like,
do you know the answer?
You can count on one hand in 30 years the number of times the Jets have won the division. So based off that statement, I don't wish them the worst. I hope the Jets do well. I really do.
There's only one time the Jets annoyed you recently, because it's the same time they annoyed me. It's the Rex Ryan years with the Victor Cruz 99. That's the end. Like, that's the one year, because of the bravado and the cocky. Because that's not that the Jets were the Nets. It is
You're
different.
Gonna laugh.
But that has to be the time.
I kind of like Rex Ryan. So I went to college in Baltimore. I went to Loyola University in Maryland, and I watched the Ravens games. They were on local TV. I loved Rex Ryan's defense. I thought he ran a great scheme. So I was a fan of him before he became the Jets head coach. When he became the Jets head coach, he kind of, he got a little more arrogant. He put the New York bravado on. The Bart Scott can't wait was pretty awesome. When they beat the Patriots. The Jets, I really don't have anything bad to say about them. I hope Alex and Aram and the other Jets fans in our group chat are happy. I really do.
Nah, that's cool. That's cool. Get me in this group chat. I don't know why I can't come in for one day. How many people total are in it?
Do you like New
15?
Balance? Do you like New Balance sneakers?
Not particularly.
All right, Aram is like a big time collector of New Balance sneakers. So
I mean, I do have fat feet, so I could use them. I got fat feet. Yes, I have I'd show you. Yeah,
I thought you were saying flat feet, but
no, I've got fat feet. Like, I'm not a big guy, but my feet are fat. I got fat feet.
Well, you know why that is, right? Because you have gout.
Oh, yes. How's your gout doing, by the way?
It's doing better.
You were texting me a couple weeks ago that your gout was bad. How's your gout?
It's doing a lot better, man. And we are officially gout bros, which nobody listening to this podcast wants to hear about, but we are gout bros, and we're going to deal with it together. We'll get through it.
All right. Final questions on the pod. And if you've gone this far, God bless you. And Alex, if you've gone this far as well, fuck off. I'm going to do this. What's your favorite pizza in Jersey?
Dominic's in Neptune. Look it up. Dominic's on 33 in Neptune. The best pie I get from there all the time. It's phenomenal. You got to experience it. I recommended that to you via text. So
yeah,
you have that.
I haven't tried it yet, though.
You got to try it. And I also tried another one the other night in Brick on Route 88.
You liked it?
Called Tio's. We got the margarita pizza. Fantastic.
I'm really not a big margarita guy.
I know, but you know what? It was very good pizza. I watched them season it out of the oven and everything. It was fantastic.
I could talk food with you. Okay. Last question on Bad Weather Fans for tonight. If you could live in, how do I phrase this? Why is New Jersey better than Long Island?
Oh my God, this is a layup. Boardwalks. I tell people all the time, you go to the beach in the Hamptons, they don't have boardwalks. We have Atlantic City was the first boardwalk in America. We got Wildwood, we got Seaside, we got Point Pleasant, Asbury Park. The boardwalks are what are the special sauce for Jersey beaches. And look, people from Pennsylvania, Delaware, Virginia, New York, they're all coming to the Jersey Shore. Everybody converges on it. People talk about the Jersey Shore more than they talk about the Hamptons. Tell me I'm wrong. So tell me I'm wrong on that.
I'm not saying anything. I just wanted to hear you say it. I just wanted to hear you get in trouble.
I'm very fortunate. I grew up in a really nice part of the Jersey Shore. Monmouth County, I feel, is one of the best parts of Jersey to live in. Monmouth County and Bergen County, I would say. Cape May is also very gorgeous, but you're all the way down south. Where I'm from, I'm about an hour and 10 minutes from New York City. So it's easy for people to just hop on that New Jersey Transit train, Penn Station, come down to Long Branch, come down to Asbury, Belmar. We got a great scene down here. Anybody that wants to go to the beach, do yourself a favor and come to the Jersey Shore and not Long Island.
What about, you don't like Essex County?
I mean, Jersey City's cool. It's close to the city.
Montclair,
yeah.
I lived in Bloomfield for 7 years, and then I moved here. So
how far is that from Tenafly?
Montclair to Tenafly, or here to Middletown to Tenafly?
Bloomfield.
30.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting way in the weeds. If you've gotten this far in Bad Weather Fans and we're having a conversation about Tenafly or Middletown, you are officially a true fan of Bad Weather Fans. Well, Mike, thank you for coming on the podcast. I do appreciate it. Filling in for Alex, doing a fantastic job. For people that want to reach you via social media, and I'm not saying for Nick info because goddamn that's boring. But if they want to hear you for like pizza recommendations or things in Jersey, where can they find you, Mike?
You can find me at Budalicious. It's the same on all socials, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. Just my last name, Budalich, with the IOUS at the end. So Budalicious.
Mike, do appreciate coming on Bad Weather Fans. People listening on YouTube, don't forget, go ahead, give that like button. Apple, leave a comment. And Spotify, we do appreciate the 5 stars. We'll have Alex back soon. NBA free agency is starting soon. We're recording this on a Wednesday night. It'll come out early Thursday morning. NBA free agency Friday. We'll see what the Nets do. We'll see what the Knicks do. Which way do these teams pivot? We didn't even mention the D word on this podcast. We did not mention Damian, but we'll see what happens with that. I'm kind of tired of talking about it, but we'll see what happens if the rumors are true with what the fuck knows. It's, I give up on that. We'll get to that another time. Do you want to say something about the D word, Mike?
I was just going to say, speaking of the D word, go out there and get Dante DiVincenzo on the Knicks. He's going to be a great player for us. Go out there and get him. I don't want to hear any excuses. Just go get that guy. He's going to be good for us.
All right, Mike. Appreciate it, man. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care.